They did it. They won absolutely everything. They conquered all of Europe, redefined footballing dominance, and stood atop the sporting world as the most perfect, meticulously engineered machine in the history of the beautiful game. They completed the mythical treble, a feat so rare it should come with a mandatory 3-year self-destruct clause. And now? Well, now the hangover has arrived, manifesting as a bizarre, on-pitch existential crisis that is simultaneously baffling to the analysts and exquisitely hilarious to every rival fan. The triumphant, soaring orchestral soundtrack that accompanied their domination has been abruptly replaced by the lonely, mournful sound of a deflating balloon, perhaps one accidentally trodden on by a confused-looking youth player. Welcome to the vulnerability phase, where Manchester City loses 2 games in a row, a process that makes the footballing world collectively clutch its pearls and wonder if the simulation is finally breaking down. The recent horror show began with a grim, confusing Premier League defeat, a 2-1 loss away to Newcastle United, a performance that lacked the customary, robotic conviction of a Pep Guardiola side and felt more like a particularly tedious Sunday League outing. Harvey Barnes scoring against him was less a moment of Geordie brilliance and more an act of City's collective defensive generosity, a charity donation of points made purely for the sake of improving the league's narrative. This was followed by the truly astonishing midweek spectacle, a 0-2 Champions League loss at home to Bayer Leverkusen, a result that defied all logic, probability and common sense. This was a match where City should have been asserting their continental authority, but instead they fielded a lineup so rotated it looked like Pep had generated the starting 11 using a random number generator and a particularly cheap box of Cracker Jacks prizes.
We are relaxed, but not just with the ball, without the ball. We were close but not aggressive enough, and they are a really, really good team. Congratulate, of course, Leverkusen, but yeah, it is what it is. Take absolutely full responsibility, but also I think I see them and I like to everybody be involved, be a football player. When you are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games, don't play. Is it's tough, but yeah, maybe it was too much. We had an incredible good vibe, so let's go. Champions League at home, and we are in good position, and good there, and everybody for the future they count, for the next games. You have here, have Fulham, you have Sunderland, Madrid, and a lot of games together. And they cannot play all the time early 95 minutes. Omar is really important for us, for his movements and goals. But it's too much. So it's the first time in my life I've done it, and it was too much. So I realized.
The home defeat snapped a staggering 23-match unbeaten run at the Etihad in Champions League group games, proving that not even the club's home fortress is safe from the current confounding slump. The feeling is less about a rival being superior and more that City actively trying to find the most innovative and dramatic way to not win, just to make the eventual end-of-season documentary a bit more emotionally complex. At the very heart of this magnificent mess stands Pep Guardiola, the genius who now finds himself locked in a self-imposed tactical paradox, battling his own brilliance. For the Leverkusen fixture, the manager made a truly unprecedented and frankly irresponsible 10 changes to the starting 11 that had lost to Newcastle. 10! This is a European competition, not a pre-season friendly against a club whose mascot is a novelty vegetable. The lineup included players that fans had genuinely forgotten existed, creating a rusty, disconnected side that looked utterly bereft of the club's usual relentless rhythm. After the loss, the Catalan maestro, who usually speaks in riddles and philosophical pronouncements, did something truly shocking. He admitted error. He confessed that he made too many changes and took absolutely the responsibility.
Intelligent to do it. They were not aggressive enough defensively, but they have good at. That was the thought. And I said, okay, why don't put Tijani, rhythm as well, fresh legs as well, because it was so demanding in Newcastle game, and that was the thought. That was too much. It's too much. So John played national team, is central defender for the national team. Nathan is a safety. Ryan Nuri in the World Cup in the first games played really, really good. Of course, Nico Riley now is a presence in the other one. Kusanov for the pace going inside. Mateo's always play a lot of minutes recently, and I thought, yeah, let's do it because I trust them. So maybe it's my mistake, I don't know, but I trust them. I like them as a football players, how they train and many things, but maybe I should I move too much. Yeah. What is?
Marking one of the most significant public confessions of a flaw in his meticulously crafted multi-million-pound master plan. This wasn't just admitting a mistake, it was Pep betraying his own principles, revealing that even his mythical instinct is fallible, especially when that instinct tells you to rest half your world-class squad in a crucial European fixture. He saw the team's incredible vibes in training and assumed that vibes alone could conquer a dynamic, well-drilled German side. The outcome was a team that played not to make mistakes instead of playing to do what we had to do. A profound diagnosis of a squad crippled by the very anxiety of being second best for a change. His overthinking has reached a critical comedic mass, suggesting he is actively trying to invent a new, unique way to win that no one has ever tried before, the winning while also losing to prove a point strategy.
This entire psychological downturn is perfectly embodied by the current situation of Erling Haaland. The goal-scoring machine, the man genetically engineered in a fjord to break all known records, was inexplicably relegated to the bench for the Champions League tie. Pep's rationale? That the Norwegian behemoth cannot sustain all the 95 minutes because of the intense recent schedule. This is the man whose diet consists of heart rate monitors, meditation, and rival tears. If the very embodiment of peak footballing fitness needs a rest after 2 games, then the entire human race is suffering from severe overexertion. When Haaland did enter the fray, along with other desperate substitutes like Phil Foden and Jeremy Doku, the team's performance did finally improve, but it was too late. Haaland even missed a decent chance, demonstrating that the malaise has spread like a slow, confusing virus even to the most immune members of the squad. The message is clear. The collective psychological slump has now infected the very player who was supposed to be immune to such trifling human frailties. The squad, which is arguably the deepest and most expensive in the world, is now being criticized for a lack of clinical edge and aggressive edge. 2 traits that are supposed to be as fundamental to their identity as the color blue. 5 players even received damning 4/10 ratings in the match reports, proving that the confusion is pervasive, reaching from the tactical notebook down to the boots of the youth players. Meanwhile, while City is busy wrestling with its own glorious dysfunction, the Premier League title race is doing that most irritating of things, running away. Arsenal, in a display of what the analysts call remorselessness, are now sitting a magnificent, terrifying 7 points clear at the top. 7 points! That's practically a lifetime in Premier League terms. The equivalent of telling a City fan they have to go a whole season without hearing the word treble mentioned by a pundit. For years, the Premier League title race was a simple, soul-crushing equation. Arsenal leads in February, plus City hits top gear in March, equals City wins in May. The inevitability was suffocating. But now, City has been pushed into the utterly foreign, stressful, and deeply irritating position of being the chasers. The biggest threat to Arsenal isn't City's quality, it's the dawning, paralyzing realization in the City camp that they might actually have to try really, really hard this year. The psychological burden of needing to win 10 games in a row while also hoping Arsenal loses 3 is a form of tension that City fans simply aren't accustomed to. They're no longer the masters of destiny. They are the destiny catchers, and they don't like it one bit. Even their new, highly rated signings are exhibiting signs of intense stress. Josko Gvardiol, a man who has won enough trophies to sink a small dinghy, spoke of the trauma of the previous season, claiming he couldn't sleep because of the emotional toll of their unprecedented success.
Yeah, I think it's for me the worst season so far that I've done. I ever had in my career, and it was painful. And I remember last season I couldn't sleep like in the nights. Because I was trying to find solution, I was trying to help the team, everyone in the club, to get out of this position. But sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes, things are not going the way we wanted. And I'm glad that it's behind us. That we recover well. That in football, I say it's good that like in 3 days there is a new game.
He is now forced to stand in front of the press and declare the team is back on track, while secretly wondering, I don't know honestly, which is the current philosophical mantra of the entire club. And yet, despite all the tactical and psychological turmoil, let us not forget the true multi-million-pound scandal that transcends mere sporting performance: the disciplinary fines. City has been hit with over £3 million in fines over the last 2 seasons for an utterly farcical reason: chronic tardiness and late second-half kickoffs. This club, which operates with the precision of a Swiss timepiece and the budget of a small nation, is being financially punished because its players can't be bothered to leave the dressing room on time. They are so wealthy and successful that their primary real-world problem is akin to that of a teenager who keeps missing the school bell. When quizzed on this absurd situation, Pep, in a moment of sheer magnificent distraction, deployed one of the most brilliant satirical quips of his career. He demanded that the Premier League must also find the singers too, specifically referencing the Burna Boy show that delayed the Champions League final kickoff in 2023. He is literally trying to start a beef with a Grammy-winning Afrobeat star to deflect attention from his team's inability to respect the clock. This is the new, bewildering reality at the Etihad. The manager is not just battling the high press and low blocks, he is battling the concept of time itself, international music figures, and the sheer overwhelming boredom of having already won everything. City is in an era of sublime, self-sabotaging comedy, and the only thing they're truly chasing right now is their own chronically late tails. For now, the simulation is delightfully broken, and the football world is finally having fun again.